Uh, Especially, we would like to thank Nadeesha for being the guest speaker today for delivering this DAAD information session. Excuse me, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, okay. And good afternoon to you all, the staff and students of the Faculty of Arts and other faculties. And you know, the DAAD is a world famous and very large exchange body for academic exchanges between Germany and other countries in the world. There will be exchanges in both ways. You can go from other countries to Germany, and also the German people, mainly the students and staff, they can go out to the other countries under this DAAD funding. Is one of the largest academic exchange body. The DAAD is in the German language, and the English extension is German Academic Exchange Service. And we are really happy to have Nadeesha again here to speak about DAAD opportunities. I remember he came physically earlier 2-3 times to our faculty and delivered the session in person in the Faculty of Science and also in some other places. I think also in the St. Patrick's College or somewhere here. And he is helping a lot and for the past several years, and mainly to encourage the students to apply for PhD, masters or postdoctoral fellowships. So under DAAD, there are many options. He will talk. There are master's scholarships, there are PhD scholarships, also the postdoctoral fellowships. In 2017, I went to Germany under DAAD postdoctoral fellowship. That's a research chair for academic staff. Then in 2018, another PhD student from physics, Prashant, he went. As far as I know, say these two are the DAAD alumni from the University of Jaffna. Myself in 2017 and Prashant then in 2018. And say we would like to have some more applicants this year for PhD programs or master's programs or postdoctoral research chairs. And you know, Germany is known as land of ideas because many people, many scientists originated from Germany. You know, the well-known 20th century scientist Albert Einstein was born in Germany, and he got the Nobel Prize while he was working in Germany. And there are many, I think, you know, say, we could say more than half of the Nobel-laureates originated from Germany. Okay? That's what it simply is known as land of ideas. And I'm sure Nadeesha will talk about these. And I would like to take this opportunity to introduce a few words about Nadeesha. He is the DAAD representative for Sri Lanka, working at the German embassy in Colombo. And he holds the BSc degree earned from the Mangalore University in India and the MBA degree earned from Canterbury Christ Church University in UK. And he works in the DAAD as the DAAD representative for past 3-4 years at the DAAD embassy. And he was always helpful. That's what I told to Pradinath a couple of weeks before. If you write an email to him, he will definitely reply immediately. And he is very much interested to deliver these information sessions to all the students, to almost all the universities in Sri Lanka. He physically travels earlier. But now, because of this pandemic, he organizes these sessions in virtual mode. I think with this brief introduction about DAAD and about Nadeesha, I would like to invite Nadeesha to deliver this talk about DAAD opportunities. Welcome, Nadeesha.
Thank you very much for that warm introduction.
Also, to share some of my thoughts, University of Jaffna is quite special to me. In 2017, I became the Sri Lankan representative of DAAD, and University of Jaffna was one of the first few university. It's among one of the first few universities I visited. So it's always special traveling from Colombo, warm hospitality, not just from Dr. Vigna Ruben, but almost everyone I met there in the university. So thank you very much for great memories. And with that, let's move on to our presentation today. Study and research organization opportunities in Germany. Before starting, I would like to get to know you a bit. You can see the chat option. If you can tell me what is the field that you are interested in, you can just type whether you are interested in a master's program or a PhD program or anything else. You can just chat. All right, maybe I'll look into it when I'm in the scholarship opportunities. Meantime, let's move on. As Dr. Vigna Ruben introduced, DAAD, German Academic Exchange Service, got its name DAAD by the German name Deutsche Akademische Austauschdienst. And I'm happy to share you, we are the largest funding organization in the world for education and research. And as you can see, we are an international organization spread all over the world. How we get funds to be the largest funding organization in the world? Here you can see from where we get funds. We are a German government organization. This is something new. We get most of our funding from the Federal Foreign Office of Germany. Other funding are from different agencies like research organizations, European Union, likewise you can see. Also, I know as Sri Lankans, we all give priority to different countries. It depend on different reasons. History may be Sri Lanka being a former British colony. Likewise, I think India is leading. India is in number one, followed by Malaysia, Australia, and Australia being the most popular country among students. And talking about Germany, here are some of the reasons why we talk about higher education in Germany. It's not just theory, not practice. There's a good balance between these two. Also, it's one of the safest countries I have ever traveled. A lot of courses, very specific degree programs are available. It's also, it's not limited to Germany. You can find a job in Germany or come back to Sri Lanka or go anywhere else. A lot of study programs, over 400 universities. And there's a very nice diversity. This is something I really enjoyed. Now, as a student in Germany, if I share my experience when I did my master's, um, it was really nice. Like I stayed in the city Berlin, capital of the city. I'm sure you all know about this. When you walk in a typical German city, Berlin city, you hear many languages. It can be German, it can be English, Chinese. Once in a while, we hear people are talking in Tamil or Sinhalese. Oh, it's such a nice thing. And you don't feel when you are in Germany that you are in a foreign country, but you are surrounded by students with similar taste or similar interests. And people with different colors, brown people like us, dark people, pinkish people or white people, whoever or however you name it, there are a lot of people, such a nice diversity. Also geographically, it's in the heart of the Europe. Germany is the most popular non-English speaking destination in the world. And also it's the most popular destination in European Union also. Something really interesting now, a lot of people are talking about countries like Canada and some other European countries. It's not Germany doesn't have extreme winters. And also, since it's in the heart of Europe, you can see a lot of other countries, something really interesting. What I did, whenever I had a free time, I used to travel to some other countries, especially countries. I stayed in two cities like Berlin and Cologne. From Cologne, it's quite easy to travel to Belgium, Netherlands, France. It's just a matter of a train ride of half an hour or 1 hour maximum. You don't have to spend a lot of money also, no problem of visa. As a student, I think accommodation is now also not going to be a trouble because you have friends through different social media platforms. That is something I really enjoyed more than my university, to be honest. As Dr. Vigna Ruben introduced earlier, Germany is not a country for engineering. It's not only for engineering. A lot of people think like that because of automobile industry. So you can see Nobel-laureates from Germany in different fields. And also talking about inventions, German inventions, starting from a small aspirin tablet, it goes up to automobile industry or MP3 player. We are talking about these days because of pandemic situation, gene, and the list goes on. I have picked up a couple of things. Since there are master students also, this is going to be the typical schedule for a student. There are 2 semesters. One is starting on April, 1st of April, and the other one is 1st of October. So this is the most popular intake where all the universities, 100% of the universities are starting. So this is basically, you can have an idea what are the steps you need to follow. DAAD is there to provide information, reach to us. You have to apply to universities. You don't have to go through any agent. You can do it on your own. You can find accommodation. There are many sources. Apply for a visa and then go to Germany. If it's the summer semester, here is the schedule. Only 40% of the universities are starting in summer. And the most interesting thing, another thing about universities is German universities are entirely free. I'm talking about most of the universities, except for one state called Baden-Württemberg. It's entirely free, even for international students. I think these changes are quite new, quite recent. As a higher education destination during last 2 years, Germany changed a lot, and all these changes are quite positive towards students. And there's a semester contribution. If you happen to do it, it's quite interesting. You get many things in return if you do the semester contribution. You get transport free of charge in your city. If you go to a pub or student club or cafe, sometimes you get discounts. If you want to go to a theater, if you want to go for a movie, you get discounts. Gym benefits, a lot of benefits if you do this. And also this 300 euros amount is for a period of 1 semester, 6 months. So it's about 50 euros per month. When you are in Germany, once you start earning in euros, I think 50 euros is not going to be a big amount. And every information is there quite clearly. There are a lot of websites. The DAAD is there to provide information. German embassies that provide information. You do not have to go through agents, and through that, you can save some millions of rupees. It's a matter of going through information quite clearly. So these are the language proficiency requirements. Depend on the program. For certain programs, it is not relevant. And also, I spoke about all the nice things, that it's free of charge. You don't have to pay anything. If you do not get funding from a German organization like DAAD or even Sri Lankan government, UGC is also sometimes offering fundings. If you don't have funding, you have to make it quite clear. If you don't have funding support from different organizations, then you have to think about this blocked account, an amount of 10,400 euros approximately. You have to show this money to the account, or you have to have this amount in your account in Germany, and you can withdraw a maximum of 861 euros per month from this account. Again, I like to highlight this amount is required only if you do not have funding. Living expenses concerned that depend on the city. Here, this figure is given by the central government of Germany, considering the most expensive city in Germany. And funnily, this most expensive city is the most popular city among international students also. This is Munich, southern part of Germany, where all these big industries like Mercedes-Benz, automobile industries are located. For the rent, accommodation, you have to spend about 350 euros. If you are ready to share your accommodation and go for hostel options, you can cut this figure down. Food, I suggest you to keep this. Clothing, 50 euros is about 12,000 Sri Lankan rupees. So you have to spend 12,000 Sri Lankan rupees every month for clothing. No. Study materials also not. Transport, you get free of charge if you do the semester contribution. There also you can cut down. For insurance, where there's this heart sign, that you have to have. This covers everything, even for a slighter cold to a heart attack. Insurance will take care. And the telephone, internet, again, it's not going to cost that much. In the university, in your house, apartment, you get Wi-Fi free of charge. This is also quite new. And entertainment also, to go to a movie once in a while, film, all for sport facilities, you have another location. So you can see, you can cut down in many areas. So this depends on how frugal you are, even though the amount is 860 euros. Typically, a Sri Lankan student is spending 400 to 600 euros per month. Also, there are many things, many words that English language, or I would say the international community gathered because of German universities, like we call it Hörsaal or an auditorium. This is a typical cafeteria, or we call in German Mensa. Labor or laboratory. It's also quite popular German labs, so German standard they say. Bibliothek or libraries. And also Freizeitaktivitäten, we say, or free time activities. It's quite nice. I mean, these days, they are in a very sunny climate. So it's quite typical to see students like this. They go to a park, they just open up their books and make their notes, read a novel. Such a nice free time activity they have. If you do not have a scholarship, how I can cover my expenses? If you do not have funding from German organization like DAAD, Erasmus Plus, or any other Sri Lankan or German organization, you can work part-time and cover your expenses. You have 120 full days or 240 half a days to work. If you are into research, or if you are doing PhD, you will have opportunities in the university also. This sometimes as a master's student also, you will get this chance in the university. You can work under a professor or a doctor or lecturer in the university, especially senior lecturers. You can work under senior lecturers there, be the assistant, and you can make an earning. But this is not limited to the university. It can be in a club or in a nice cafe, in student bodies, different other organizations, NGOs. Opportunities are quite high. And what is your job after completion of your studies? Whatever you do, master's, bachelor's, PhD, postdoctoral studies, if you want to stay in Germany, you can do that. For master students, for an example, you can think of your PhD. You can find a job in Germany or move to any other European country or whatever the country you like and start working. You can also work independently there. It can be an independent researcher or self-employed. And there are a lot of international brands spread all over the world. Opportunities are available in these organizations also. In Sri Lanka also, there are a lot of such organizations. Now, I am sure Dr. Vidnagruban will agree with me. When we're talking about the quality of German universities, we do not have to worry about the quality like many other countries. There are German government authorities looking into the quality of these places. They are bound by a lot of laws. They are quite stressed out by different organizations. So no problem about the quality. But since there's a demand from international students, we have also a ranking system. This ranking system is also quite interesting. This is field-wise. Like if you want to select what are the best universities for physics, what are the best universities for engineering-related disciplines, natural sciences, medicine. Field-wise classification you can find from CHE rank. And I have also a couple of slides dedicated for master students. Let's go through that quickly. Basically, you have to have these sort of requirements. Now, you can see letter of motivation letter, SOPs we say. You can find SOP guidelines in our website, DAAD Sri Lanka website under downloads. Basically, you have to have your uni transcripts to apply. Even if you're in the final year of bachelor's program, you can apply for the master's program. In general, they're asking for a 4 years bachelor's program. This is not at all a problem if you are in natural science or like disciplines related to science or engineering, not engineering, science disciplines, even 3-year bachelor's is not a problem. We have noticed if you are from a humanities background, they are asking for a 4 years bachelor's degree. If you do not have a 4 years bachelor's, don't worry. University might have some other options for you. Sometimes the university might want you to go through different modules before you enter to the university. Or you might have to go to Germany a little earlier, attend some master's classes also, maybe 1 semester or a couple of months, even maybe 1 month. Or it can be assignment based also. There are options, but in general, they prefer to have a 4 years graduate. Now, different universities, I'll tell you how you can find these universities, these free of charge universities. But if I take an example, now, this is Unique University, one of the best universities in the world. I have an example, our engineering program. You can see 4-semester program, there's no tuition fee. Sem contribution is quite less, like 129 euros. Deadlines, it's 100% English program. Likewise, I have another program, Social and Economic Data Sciences. But this program has 3 semesters. Semester contribution is again 100 euros only. 100% English, no tuition fee. This is University of Constance. So, what I wanted to tell you here, German universities are autonomous. There are no, very rigid rules. You have to have this. This is the IATS score. This is the language score. Whether you need German or not. For 90% of the programs, master's program, 95% of the master's program, you do not have to have any German language knowledge. It's purely English. But once in a while, you can find such programs also. So these are autonomous. They can take their own decisions, these universities. So their requirement also may vary from one university to the other. So I'm coming to the PhD. My favorite area, interest, I would say. To do a PhD in Germany, you have to have a master's. Like in Sri Lanka, I'm really sorry, after a bachelor's program, you can't straight away go for a PhD. I know some Sri Lankans, if they have a first class, sometimes they ask whether they can go for a PhD. Unfortunately, not. Research work or publications are not necessary, but if you have them, that's a plus point. There is so there are research institutes like Max Planck Society, Fraunhofer Gesellschaft. These research organizations are catering to different areas. It can be sciences, it can be humanities, art, music, film, theater, whatever it is. There are research institutes and industrial research also. These are for like industries like automobile, pharmaceutical industry, agricultural industries. So there are three kinds of places, organizations to do research. So this is the most important thing I want to focus. There are two kinds of research opportunities or ways of doing research. First one is the individual approach, individual PhDs. This is a traditional approach, like how we are doing in most of the Sri Lankan universities. So what you have to do, you have to first develop your research proposal and then step by step further develop into a proper research. The other approach in your right hand and left hand side, you can see this. Other one is structured PhDs. Only 20% of the PhDs in Germany are available in the structured method. So most of the PhDs are individual PhDs. In the structured PhD, what's happening? You can find these opportunities in a database. There we have a list of programs available in DAAD website. You can find what these structured programs are. If you are an academic, if you want to work in the university, let's say University of Jaffna, then I think your approach should be more individual. But if you are working for PhD, will suits you the best. At the same time, now, if you think you are a structured person, you are self-disciplined, you know, by this day I have to submit my line, I need to collect data on this. If you are self-disciplined, then still individual approach would do. So if you are not that disciplined, if you think, okay, I need a proper schedule like my master's classroom, I want lecturers to go through my research proposal, I'd like to panel discussions with other students, then structured PhD may work. How you can approach or how you can find these opportunities, individual approach. We have some databases. So through these databases, you can write to different researchers, supervisors, PhD holders in Germany and ask, can you be my supervisor? Are you interested in my discipline? So for that, you need to develop your research proposal. I'll give you a couple of tips also. And since we have academics here, they'll also give their thoughts to you. Especially Dr. Ruben, he is connected with Germany still, so he has most updated knowledge about German academics. I'll also give a couple of tips to you. So whatever it is, individual or structured program, you will get an admission. German supervisors have the right to give an invitation letter to do a PhD. If you have that, then you have to apply for student visa. After that, if you have an admission from a university or a professor, then you can think about DAAD fund. So here are some of the differences of individual and structured PhD program. What are the steps? If I give you a couple of hints for a successful PhD application, or how you can make your research proposal a bit successful. I know now, since you have done a bachelor's program and again a master's program, you are quite interdisciplinary. You have a couple of approaches. That is something I see a positive point in our system. So since you have interdisciplinary approach, your research proposal also can be a little interdisciplinary. And also you can connect these two countries. Your research can be based in Germany, whereas there's a little component you have from Sri Lanka also. From that, your German supervisor will learn something from you also. It's like a knowledge sharing thing. And we see sometimes we get application uh, with topics which are not relevant to Germany at all. For an example, last time we had an application about Buddhist philosophy. I don't think Germany has anything to do with Buddhist philosophy because Sri Lankan academics have the best in the sense it's something like that. And if you're talking about Hinduism, then again, India is the best place. So if you can connect something, your research proposal, if you can connect it with Germany, with available resources in Germany, then the success rate is quite high. These are tips. As I mentioned, there are a lot of research organizations in Germany. A lot of researchers are working. These research organizations are not government-owned. These are mostly independent organizations, and they get most of their funding from industries. Limited funds from the government, because industries want researchers who academics like you. They want to get most updated knowledge from you. That's why they contributed a larger chunk of research and development budget in these institutes. Yeah, that's about PhD. Here I mentioned there are a couple of databases you can find PhD programs. Let me see whether I'm exceeding time. No, I have few more minutes. These are some of the sources where you can find a supervisor in Germany. Research in Germany.org, Garrett.org, PhD in PhDGermany.DAAD, and structured PhD programs can be found in DAAD database also. If you have questions, please keep the question. I'll now focus on funding. This is what I want to focus. My dear lecturers, academics. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are free universities in Germany. I want you to focus on these free universities. And also, there are a lot of funding opportunities. I have mostly stated here funding opportunities in the field of humanities. There are many other opportunities in sciences, natural sciences, engineering also. If there's someone representing these fields, please let me know. I'm happy to talk about them as well. Now, here, funding for graduates, basically master's funding. This program, Helmut-Schmidt-Programme, PPGG, Public Policy Program. Now, before talking about master's grants, I should tell you the difference between master's and PhD process. If you are a master's student or if you want to do your master's in Germany, you have to send the DAAD funding request together with the university. So when you apply for the university, you have to send the DAAD funding request also. And we are providing DAAD funding for masters only for few universities, selected universities. PhD is not like that. First, you have to get the placement in PhD program, good placement for the PhD program. Then you have to apply for funding after having the acceptance. But masters, together with the university application, you need to send the funding request also. Yeah. So this public policy and good governance, a grant is open for many fields. It can be political science, social sciences, even science students can apply for this. But I don't want you to change your discipline. Degrees, I mean, master's programs are similar to public policy, good governance, political science, likewise. So you can see the duration of the program, the allowance you are getting. Other than this 861 euros, you are getting transport allowance, flight tickets, insurance, and if there's any research component, research grants also. Under this Helmholtz program, there are PhD grants also, but mostly masters. Okay, EPOS. This is the most popular grant among Sri Lankans, master's grant. Also, there are a lot of fields. Law is a topic there. They have LLM master's grant also under EPOS. And we can't specify the deadline. There are different universities involved and different programs. So there are different deadlines as well. EPOS also cater for masters and PhD, engineering, development studies, media studies, medicine, law, many fields. I think there are about 10 heads, 10 different categories. Have a look on that also. Architecture grant, similar like that. Okay, we have also a grant for fine arts, design, visual communication, music, and performing arts. Different categories, there are different options. You can apply for that. And I should tell you these aesthetic related grants. Not received a single application from a Sri Lankan university. So chances are up there. You can see there are different methods to apply. If you want further information, you can write to me. I'll give my information. I'm happy to help you with this. But if you go through our scholarship database, you can find all this information. And there's one program, IIT Bombay. Those who know about IIT Bombay, Indian Institute of Technology. This is also in one of the top 100 universities in the world. This is because of our friendship between India. We got this grant. This is also mostly for engineering related grants. For PhD grants, again, IIT is giving a PhD grant. The grant is, you can see, less compared to other grants because living cost in India or Mumbai is relatively cheaper than any other German city. Okay, here. Doctoral programs in Germany, research grants. So if you have a master's degree and let's say you have an admission for a PhD program, you know now how to get an admission. You can write to German supervisors, or you can apply through our database. Somehow, if you have an invitation from a German supervisor, you can apply for this grant. Your PhD can go up to 4 years. Deadline is 15th or 20th October. Keep it in your mind, it will be first or second week of October. We open the deadline somewhere around August, and this is a fully funded PhD grant. It is open for any discipline. It can be engineering, performing arts, development related, law, whatever you name is, it is open for you. So the other grant, binationally supervised PhD programs, doctoral studies. Let's say you have registered for a PhD program in the University of Jaffna. I think now Sri Lankan universities are quite open-minded in that sense. Certain universities, it's also a must. They encourage you to have a foreign exposure also. So in that case, you can be in touch with the German supervisor and ask, can I spend 1 or 2 years in your institute to do a part of my research? If they're okay, if your university is okay, Post University, the local university, Sri Lankan university, and if you have an okay from the German university, still you can apply for these funds. But your final award will be from the local university. In your case, it's University of Jaffna. Grant is the same. We are paying you until you complete the same duration. This is DLR. These are for space transportation sort of programs. We have a separate grant. You can see the grant is high. And also, if you are a PhD holder and working in a Sri Lankan university, you can apply for this short-term research stay in Germany. There we also have bilateral exchange programs. And if you are a DAAD scholarship holder, we have the reunification program. These are the benefits. Let's say one of you gets selected to a master's scholarship from DAAD or PhD. After that, also there are opportunities. It's not limited to your grant, your just 2, 3, or 4 years you stayed in Germany. There are also research book grant for former DAAD scholarship holders and equipment grants also. If you need one equipment for your university, you can apply for this. We have a call. There are 2 calls per year. For visa, you don't have to worry about if you can apply from Colombo. You don't have to travel to India like most of other countries. And we are located in the German Embassy, Colombo. There are many ways you can reach to us. Drop us an email, give us a call, or you also can have an individual consultation session from us. These time slots and dates are available in our website, DAAD Sri Lanka. And we also have a couple of web sessions coming up. PhD, prepare you for a PhD research proposal writing workshops, and more information sessions like this, especially focused on PhDs or masters. These information also you can find in our website. That's basically it. And be in touch with our newsletter or social media pages, Facebook page. And why I'm recommending this Facebook page is now what we spoke was opportunities limited to Sri Lanka, official grants to Sri Lanka. Sometimes these German universities are also offering, they are telling, okay, the University of Cologne, the University of Bonn, we have 15 PhD positions open for social sciences. If interested, candidates can apply. Likewise, there are opportunities coming from the universities, coming from research organizations. So we publish these things then and there in our Facebook page. That's basically it about higher education and research scene in Germany. And if you can also chat. Right. Okay, let me go through that. Okay, most of you are interested in a PhD program. There you got the information. Now let me do like this. Now, if you have any question, Pradinath, Mr. Pradinath, how can we go about it? Shall we let them talk, or I suggest you, shall we open both ways, chat and also the voice option?
I think that's
great,
fine.
yeah. So let's do like this. If you have a question, please feel free to direct the question to me, or if it's to Dr. Vigna Ruben or to the organizing committee, whoever it is, you can.
I think Sivakaran raised.
Yeah, you could speak, or you could type your question in the chat box.
Yeah. Yes, this is Shivakaran. Yes, is it audible? Can you hear me?
Audible, yes.
Yes, it's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I have 2 questions. My field, philosophy, right? Especially, I am interested in the field of political philosophy. I want to know